Looking into her young eyes, I wondered about her future. Where would she end up? Death can make you feel like you're not in control of life and your path in it. Is there something or someone controlling life? A higher power, unknown and unknowable. Wondering about those big questions probably wouldn't matter to her right now. The deep, incalculable, lasting blow of losing a parent is probably all-consuming to her. What do I say to a child in a circumstance like this? I'm here for you. I'll take care of you. I won't leave you. We were sort of wandering through different worlds with no certain pathway or reason. I didn't know what to do. This overwhelming weight of becoming a guardian for a child was a lot for me. I just wanted to go home. I'm sure she was thinking the same thing. The only way to making it to my home would be to somehow connect with the Grim Reaper. Somehow getting his attention and getting him to take us both back. But how would you do that? By dying? A near-death experience? Killing someone? Where are we now? That was a good question. I looked around. I think we're in Barnacle Bay. Barnacle Bay, another world that you can only travel to through the Sims 3 store. It was interesting. It reminded me of Princess Cordelia because there was definitely a pirate theme going on here. It must be a tourist location. Wait, was that? No way. It couldn't be her. How? What? I walked right up to her. Nina? She looked at me curiously. Maybe she didn't remember me? Maybe it's not her. Then a look of realization appeared on her face. I know what you must be wondering right now, she sighed and continued to say. I can explain everything. According to her, they didn't want to hurt us, or Dawn for that matter. They didn't really think through their actions. They weren't sure what to do and everything felt like it was crashing down on them. Everyone was becoming suspicious of them because of Dawn, Dina Dane Mortimer, and just, everything else. If there was another way, they would have done something else, but Dawn had to leave town. Honestly, for his own safety. They only had a time travel machine, no other way to teleport him somewhere else. Then we saw it all happening and we had to be dealt with too. What? We time traveled? How? How did this happen? What the heck? Nina didn't seem fazed by it. She continued with her story, telling me that after the three of us time traveled, people became even more suspicious of the twins. They decided that they were going to time travel as well. I asked her, no, I actually begged her to tell me what their deal was back in Pleasant View. What were their intentions with Mortimer and with Dawn? What actually happened with Bella? She seemed to hesitate to answer. They probably realized that the truth, or part of the truth, wouldn't matter to me. I couldn't do anything to change the course of events. So, she told me. She said that it was all a setup. They wanted Mortimer's permanent elixir of life, but Bella was obviously in the way. Since they're part aliens, they were able to have her abducted. The twins set Dawn up to take the fall, but then the plan started to fall apart. It became too much for them. They had to deal with Dawn. I didn't know what to say. Then Lil Cher came running back to me. I didn't want her to know. I quickly excused us and we started to walk again. We walked for days, only stopping on community lots to fulfill our needs. Finally, we made it to where we were going, Sunset Valley, the beginning of everything. If Nina was telling the truth and we actually did time travel, we should easily find Mortimer and Bella as children. That is, of course, if we time traveled to the past. If we're in the future, then I don't have a plan at all. But the only reason why we came here is because Mortimer told us that Mortimer's parents were influential in the town, so it shouldn't be too hard to find them. And it really wasn't. I asked around a bit and there they were. Easy peasy. I found it hard to approach the two. They weren't exactly what I was expecting. Either way, I had to know the truth. I found it shockingly easy to talk with them. I said that I was a new resident of the town and wanted to hear more about it from the two people who would know the most. They were flattered and invited me and my daughter over to dinner to discuss the history of the town in greater depth. She's not my daughter. They told us where they lived and we agreed upon a time. While we waited, we sat together at the park. Little Cher seemed really upset. I guess it's time to properly explain what's happening. Hey, how are you feeling? Bad. I miss my mom. I want to go home. I hear you. That's a horrible thing to feel. I miss my home too. Okay, then let's go home. It's not that simple. You see, we teleported back in time. We don't have a way of getting back home to either of our homes. I explained to her that I'm a detective from another timeline. I knew it was probably a lot for a little kid to understand, but she had to know. She had to know that we're actually the same sim from different timelines. When I said that, her eyes brightened for a second. Does that mean my mom is still alive somewhere else? In a different timeline? I guess so. Technically, we don't know how many timelines there are. There might be hundreds of us, with hundreds of different versions of our mom. I want my mom. My real mom. I know. So do I. I miss my mom. You got my mom killed. You did this to me. So fix this and take me back. I wish I could. I wish we could just time travel and fix this mess. Don't talk to me ever again. I don't want to be around you. I hate you. The Goth's house was very interesting. They invited us in and asked Little Cher if she wanted to go play with their son, Mortimer, and his friend Bella. They were around the same age anyways, so they wouldn't mind the company. The Goths themselves were very welcoming. They spoke about their love for the community and for creating communities. How this passion for creating something began with their love for their birthplace, Old Country. They were both blessed with wealth in this life, and they're passionate about using it to build something new for future generations to enjoy, like Mortimer. Looking at Little Cher, Mortimer, and Bella hang out made me think about the future. Their futures, in fact. Seeing children and being cursed with a knowledge of their future is not something I'm quite fond of. Should I warn them? Tell Bella not to trust Dawn, that she would be abducted? Let Mortimer know that his best friend and future wife will be alive in Strangetown? Warn them both about the Caliente twins? No, I couldn't. Who's to say how that'll affect this timeline and their lives in this future is not worth the risk. It also got me thinking about Little Cher and her future. How will this all affect her in this timeline? What will become of her in the future? I guess time will only tell.